when I say Donald Trump, what do you think about? What do your friends talk about when his name comes up?
Well, it's something that it's almost a laughable matter.
Yeah.
It's something that, should we have flying cars and things like that going on right now? This seems like such a far-stretched thing, but this is our reality. This is the person that is heading the Republican candidacy right
Donald
now.
Trump and Bernie Sanders just won the New Hampshire primary by double digits, 20-some points. This isn't a fluke. They may not end up being the nominees, but they very may well end up being the nominees. Kyle, what do you hear when you talk to people about Trump?
I actually had a funny conversation with a friend. There's a small part of me that I wish you could take Trump and give him like a 6-month trial run just to see what he could do. Now, at the end of the 6 months, I wish it would reset itself to go back to the way it was.
So, Kyle, the millennials are in favor of rewriting the Constitution. We know that. Okay.
Obviously, we can't do that, but there is
internship.
There is a small part of me that kind of would like to see what he could do, but there's a much larger part of me that. I don't see any concrete plan from him.
Listen, I've taken a lot of heat from my Republican friends. I can't vote for Donald Trump. What I have liked about Donald Trump, and not about him, but just in this movement, is that it has upset the apple cart. It's made all of, not just the establishment politics, but the media and everyone else have had to sort of readjust the game because they can't just feed it out to you the way they have. And for that, I think the country probably should, in some weird way, be grateful to him. And Bernie on the left as well. Bernie's taking on a lot of sacred cows in the Democratic Party, just like, Donald is. When you hear Donald Trump as a potential presidential candidate, what flies through your mind?
So previously I have been a fan and watched Celebrity Apprentice or just
it's one
the
thing
regular
when he's on
Apprentice.
TV firing people.
So it makes you wonder, as he's presenting himself now in the debates in general, and how he handles his blow-ups, if you want to consider it that. Will that be how he handles things in the White House should he be elected? Or will he become a totally different person? Will he be fresh? Will he be what America needs? I really feel like you could flip a coin, and this is what anybody who I have a conversation with says. You could flip a coin and you could get 2 different Donald Trumps.
I think the one you get is the one you're getting. I mean,
right.
That's
and
off the cuff. That's not
really
scripted. That's coming from...
Is he really going to change?
Yeah.
So what happens when you have a conflict with another nation? Do you call them bad names and move on?
Listen,
it just makes you
people
wonder.
People have a natural reaction to that because we're so sick of political correctness in this country that there's almost like that we'll just knee-jerk and go completely the opposite direction. And that's true with all age groups. You see it over and over. Do any of the other candidates, speak to you? Sujan, if you look at the Republicans, there's still John Kasich, there's still Marco Rubio, there's still Jeb Bush. You still have choices that are out there. Do any of the other candidates resonate with you?
Well, and I had a previous history with the healthcare field, and to me, I have always, from day one, been fascinated by Ben Carson.
Okay.
I don't know if you know much about his backstory, but he was a neurosurgeon at
he'll
Johns
tell you
Hopkins.
that about in every answer.
He will. But I mean, if you're a neurosurgeon, I would find a way to work that into my daily conversation as well.
Fair enough.
But he comes from a very different background, and I think he has a lot to offer. Now, obviously, he's fallen down the polls. I think he's, number 5 now. But I think that he's a very interesting specimen, and we have a lot of very interesting candidates.
Okay, now in the debate, I have to ask you, and this is a personal style thing, and I sometimes when I'm watching the debate, all I can think about is the hiccups and what they do, and he has that Vulcan eye thing he does every time he's thinking about giving an answer, and kind of it's almost like I want to show you how smart I am. Do you think he performs well in the debates? Because I think he gets lost up there on the stage.
I do too. I don't think, but you have to also understand that you're comparing a man who was working behind the scenes, separating twins that were conjoined at the head, things like that.
He will also tell you that 30
Yes, he
seconds.
will. And you know what? Again,
hey, listen,
if I did that,
if I ever
I'd have a
separated
plaque.
conjoined twins, it would probably get worked into every conversation I ever had.
And then you've got Trump is a businessman. He knows how to handle people. That's one thing he knows, is he knows people.
Yeah.
So you have to understand that you're comparing apples and oranges in the aspect of those Republican candidates.
Okay, so Ben Carson intrigues you. Did Carly Fiorina do anything for you? Because I thought of all the people on the stage early in the debate, she was the one that was able to handle Donald Trump the best. And when Chris Christie and Jeb Bush were shrinking away, she stood up and was really impressive. Why didn't she resonate, as a female?
Right. I'm not
as an
sure.
outsider, a business person that's not a politician.
Right. To me, and going back to the comment of, are females just going to vote for the female candidate because, women power? Me personally, that doesn't do anything for me because that's not what I'm about. I would have thought that she would have stood a better chance of receiving the free female vote over Hillary Clinton.
Well, she was very impressive, and I thought she did, handle him beautifully.
Yes, and again, a business person.
Yeah, I don't know that her heart was in it, and some people would suggest that she just wants to do speaking appearances and sell books, and
Right.
sometimes candidates get in not with the intent to win, but what
To
they can
promote
get out of it.
self-promotion.